You guys are probably sitting there looking at this going, this dude's lost his marbles. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. What I'm doing today is I picked up something yesterday. I got a little project that I kind of like to work on before fall comes, which is the old bumper car. I know, I don't need any more projects, I already know. But I really like to get this thing going for when we go down to Evansville for the Evil Shindig. So what it is, I think it's right around a 59 Dodgem bumper car. I picked it up off my buddy Wade. Yeah, if you get that in, I'll just kind of walk. Here, look at that.
Yeah, there you go. This thing is heavy, way heavy.
And the whole inside, as you can see, is empty. It doesn't have anything inside. It's all been taken out.
All hollow.
So what the plan is to put a gas-powered motor in this thing. So yesterday, I'll take you in here and show you what I did. I went and picked this up yesterday. I bought it on Marketplace, good old Marketplace. It gets us every time. So I went and picked this thing up, and this is what I got. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I can make this work. It's a little 110cc, not really much to it. It's a neat little four-wheeler, but it's a small one. We don't need anything real big to put underneath that thing. So what I'll probably do today is disassemble this whole thing. I'll take all this stuff off. I'll get it down to bare frame. It does start and run. Let's see if I can do this. I gotta have two hands. Let me see if I can get it started here. Nah, the battery's dead on it. Story of my life, a bad battery. But I do have the charger running on it right now. And it's really a neat four-wheeler. It runs good. It's an automatic and it has reverse. It's got the shifter right here, which I think will be fun because when we put it in the bumper car, we'll be able to have a cool shifter with a knob or something on it, you know, make it look kind of cool there. So that's what I'm working on. So I'm going to start disassembling this thing, getting it down to bare frame, keep starting it to make sure everything's fine. And, you know, I'll take the ignition key out, that whole system out. Just get it down to the bare frame where it'll still be functionable, but it'll be all tore apart. So that's what my plan is today. So I'm gonna kind of work on this thing, show you how it turns out when we get it all done. And, you know, it'll be a fun project. It'll be something small. It shouldn't be real hard to do, but you never know. When you're doing something like this, you just never know what you're getting into because things go wrong and stuff happens. So I'm gonna keep messing with this thing today and I'll get it tore down and I'll show you when we get it all tore down here. All right, before we start tearing this thing down, Julie was wanting to ride it, so she's cruising down the driveway in it now. So here she comes. Here she comes. Look at her. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna start taking this thing apart and disassembling it. So we'll do a time lapse. Okay, so we got it tore down a little bit. At least got all the plastic, the front rack, back rack, all that off there. So we'll probably end up just posting those on Marketplace or something. Somebody's got one that's broke or tore up. There's some parts. So anywho, here we are. We got it tore down. I had to take the handlebars off to get the plastic out. So now it'll give me a lot better idea on that bumper car going up and over this. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm gonna do on the steering, because the problem in the front of the bumper car, it comes in real short, like it's narrow in the front. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do. At least we got all tore apart and it still runs and all that good stuff. So next thing I'll probably do is get the bumper car in here and maybe suspend it over it with a fork truck. Then we can kind of see how it's going to go. So that's where I'm at. But it did come apart pretty easy. Wasn't too bad. I think it's going to work. If not, we'll make it work. Runs pretty good.
No, with the condition 40 for all of them.
All right, this is going to be the first attempt to put the chassis underneath here. I'm going to sit it down. I'm not really having high hopes here that it's going to work real well, but I'm going to back it under there and see how it sits. So. It's kind of what I thought. Okay, let me show you what's going on. So I kind of figured that with the front end being that way, I was really hoping that the back wheels would fit up underneath here. I'm more concerned about the back wheels, honestly, than I am the front. I know you guys are like, what in the world is he talking about? The front is way off. Yeah, you're right. But I have a plan for the front, so I'm not really that concerned about it. So, what I'd like to do, man, this is what happens when you're building stuff. You kind of have to look outside the box here. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to lift it back up a little bit. I'm going to roll this thing forward and get these wheels where they're inside of here. I'm really thinking about changing these tires anyway and putting a skinnier tire that will go up inside of here. So if I start this, I can probably raise it up a little bit. Like that. Which the handlebars are probably going to hit now. So, which they are. The brake lever. Get off. I should have just left the handlebars off, honestly, until I get this all done. I might do that. Let me go get some tools. I'm gonna take the handlebars off so I can scooch this up a little bit, because I'm not concerned about the front, and I'll tell you why. I'm really honestly thinking about putting a single wheel on the front and taking this front end off and just making it one solid shaft coming out with a wheel up front, and I can actually pivot that and move that to the front forward and make this a little longer. But I've got to get these back wheels where they'll fit underneath this thing. So let me take the handlebars off and I'll be back.
Moments later.
Okay, I'm back. I got the handlebars clear off here. So let me see if I can roll this thing forward. Because if you look down, which that right there is the fork of the fork truck. So I really think, which I know it's going to hit in the front when I start coming down. It's the only bad thing. It's hard to do this. So it's touching on the front right now. Okay, so as you can see, these wheels are close. They're real close. Yeah, so what I might do is pull the tires off, sit this thing on some blocks, and I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do here. I might pull the wheels off and try to get the back end to set, but it's still going to hit on the front. So I might have to take the front end off this thing first for what I'm trying to do. I really think this will work. I know you guys are probably sitting there looking at this going, this dude's lost his marbles. There's no way it's going to get on there. Well, I don't know. I think it will. But I'm really concerned about the axle being too far forward. But that's not too bad right there, because that puts it about right where the seat will be. And then if we put a narrow front end, if you guys remember when I built the other bumper car, I had a single wheel in the front, right in the center. And those actually are a lot easier to steer than they are with this handlebar and these two wheels. So I'm really thinking about doing the same thing on this. So I'm not concerned about the front end. I'm really concerned about the back end. So it'll work. If not, we'll say it should have. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. I've taken the wheels off, taken everything apart here. What I've done is I've measured 3 inches, and I'm going to cut 3 inches out of this axle. Cut it here and sleeve it. And then that will bring the tire inside here. So I'll show you. If I do that, then the tire should be about like that. I'm thinking. Pretty sure it will be. It's, let's see, 3 inches. Boom. So it's probably going to put, I'm guessing about right there is how much more narrow it will be when I cut that shaft off. So I'll bring these tires in, and then as you can see, the front tires stick way out, which that whole front end, I'm taking it off, and I'm going to put a trike front end on this thing. So, that's what I'm working on right now. So I'm going to cut the axles, get the back end narrowed, and then I'll cut the front end off and try to get this thing up underneath the bumper car. So I'll get back to you here when I get the axles cut. Okay, so I got it narrowed. Looks pretty good. It's not very wide, which is what I want. And then the front end, I just cut it off the frame. Let me get this out of here. There we go. So there's the front end. We're going to use that for something, or I don't know. We might put it back on if this doesn't work. But I think it will. So I'm going to put a front end on it, like a motorcycle front end, make like a little trike, and then it'll be easier to steer in the bumper car. So just kind of wanted to show you guys what I was doing. I know it don't look like much now, but it will. I'm getting ready to get it out in the driveway. We'll get the bumper car, set it down over it, see how close we are. All right, so I'm going to get the bumper car. All right, so I'm gonna get the fork truck pulled around here and set the bumper car over this, and we'll see how close we are. Okay, this is where we're at. So as you can see, the wheel's in there quite a ways. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower this down and see if I can get this up in here. So let's lower it down. Okay, so we're hitting on something. We'll be hitting on the tires. So I need to probably move this thing forward a little bit, is what I need to do. If I can do that like this. It's hard to do with the phone in your hand. Let me move it up a little bit and get this position, and I'll show you what I got. Okay, so we got it down in there. You can see how close that tire is. So I might have to notch some of this out a little bit just to get that tire so it doesn't rub, because I don't want an issue with that. And probably do the same thing on both sides. Just kind of notch it out a little bit, maybe square that off. Like, see where this comes in, I might come across and then come out just to make a square. That way the tire will, I can move this back just a hair. It'd be really nice. Move it back just a little bit. And it's not centered or anything. Obviously you can tell this one's closer to this piece than that one is. So I think the front's over to this side too far. But it's hitting on the fuel tank, which I figured it would. The fuel tank will come out. Then I'm about to relocate this over on one side or the other so that I can get this body down a little bit more. Would be really nice. And then I'm gonna have to come back here, and all this frame on the back, like right here's where the shot goes. So I'll probably cut this here on both sides, take this back section out. And that way I can get the seat to lay in this area, because the seat's gotta be laying right back in here. You're basically going to straddle this thing when you ride it. You're just going to get in there and straddle it. There's the shifter. Put it in gear, so that'd be good. I think it's going to work. It sticks up a little higher than what I like.
I think we're parked, man. Oh, shit.
I didn't really want it sticking up that high, but I can modify this frame and put just the sling in the frame. The exhaust is coming off. We're putting duals on it. It's going to have dual exhaust out the back end. It's going to be pretty cool. We was going to repaint this thing and redo it. I don't think we are. Julie likes it like it is, so I'm going to put some trim back up on the front. I got some trim for it. I'll put that on, dress it up a little bit, and leave it just like that. I think it looks good. And the good thing is the back tires are going to be about right where the seat's going to be, which will be good because the weight will be right on the back end there. So yeah, I'm going to sit up a little bit higher in this one than we did the other ones. But that's okay. It's going to be a lot quicker. I know that. So that's where we're at right now. I'll continue on. I'll take some stuff off, see if we can get it down a little bit lower, and then start working on the frame. So that's where we're at.
Where are we?
Okay, we're getting closer. So we got it stuffed in there. I got the front end off. So what I'm going to do is make a single wheel in the front and probably come off of up here and bring the handlebars like something like that. And then you'll be able to turn it. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, it fits in there pretty good. I got all the frame cut off the back. So what I'll do is once I get this all mounted in here, I'll come up here with metal and build me a platform for my seat to sit on. That's not bad. It sits pretty low. About as low as I'm gonna be able to get it. So, okay, well, now I'll work on the front end. All right, stay tuned. Okay, back out here working on the bumper car some more. I worked on a little bit yesterday. I got quite a bit done. What I'm doing is trying to get everything set up to where it goes. Let me turn the camera around. Okay, so I got it in here where I've narrowed the rear end down. You can see it's really close. There's not much clearance. Right there, you can see the clearance there. I've got plenty in the front now because I've put that front end on it. There she is. So I've got that on. Got the steering, so if you turn the wheel, it works. So what I've done is I've hooked up the handlebars onto here. I've bolted them right through here, and I put a joint on it. So now it turns real freely. Turns real good. Real easy, which is what we wanted. So I hated to do the trike front end like that, but as you can see, there's no room up there. So you pretty much have to do that. But I put a board in here, and Julie sat in it yesterday, and it sat really nice. I'm not real crazy about the handlebars. I mean, they're okay, and I'm probably going to do it for now, but I might end up changing this. I was really wanting to put a steering wheel on here, and I still might. But the problem is, when you do that, you got to think all your controls are on the handlebars. So that will all have to be moved. I'm not worried about the front brake because obviously I don't have a front brake no more. So I'm not worried about that. I probably will have to bypass the switch, which I think is on these wires. On these wires here, I think I'll have to bypass this or maybe jump this, probably loop it, I imagine, because you have to hold the front brake in order to start it. So the plan is to do away with this part. Then I won't need this. This is the throttle. So obviously I have to have the throttle, but I was sitting there looking at this, and if you look, you can see how this throttle pushes in, how it turns. Well, you guys already know what I'm thinking here. If you took this setup, cut this off, and you mounted this up underneath the front, you could probably have a foot pedal. If this was inverted the other way, then we could hook a pedal right here, and then as you push the foot pedal, it would work. I don't know. Then again, I don't know. I'm just not really sure exactly what to do on that. But I would like to put a steering wheel in it. You know, it's electric start. There's the start. Here's the choke. It does have headlights. It has a kill switch here. It's got headlights, tail lights. We are going to put brake lights on it. I'm going to probably make or try to come up with a vintage set of headlights. And I'm thinking a headlight here, maybe one on the other side. I think it would look pretty good. The Dodgem emblem is broke off here, but I've got a friend of mine that has a 3D printer, and I'm going to see if I can't get him 3D print me a Dodgem decal to put on the front of this. Even if it's not original, I can paint it and it'll look pretty good. We wasn't going to paint this thing, but I'm really leaning towards kind of redoing this whole thing and painting it. One thing I've got going here, see what you guys think about this. So it's got a shifter on it. It's automatic, and it's got reverse, neutral, and then forward. So the shifter mounts right here through the side. What I was thinking about doing is extending this, go all the way through the side of the bumper car, coming out right out here, and have a shifter that comes up next to it, so that when you're sitting in it, you'll have a shifter right here with the knob, and you can put it in gear. I don't know, I think it would look cool. So I might do that. And another thing I'm gonna do is I took the exhaust off. It's over here. So here's the exhaust pipe for it, right here. So I took that off. And what I'm thinking about doing is cutting that. And I don't know if I have to run that muffler for back pressure for this thing to run right. I'll have to play around with that. I hope not, because I'd really like to run straight pipes on this, and I'd like to put duals out the back end of it. Some chrome tips sticking out. I think it'd look cool.
Good night, man.
I don't know, I got some ideas, but that's what I'm working on. I was just kind of showing you guys how far I've got. I've got a long way. I've been making these brackets. I'm making everything so I can unbolt it to be able to take this body off anytime I want. I'll make a bracket back here off the tail. It'll come from here and it'll go all the way out, and then I'll have to bolt that in back here. But everything's gonna be where I can unbolt it and take it out. In order to take it out now, all I have to do is take these 2 bolts out, drop the steering column down, pull those other 4 bolts out, and the whole thing lifts off. So it works pretty well. But I'm gonna keep working on this, and I will keep you guys posted. It's just a nice little build. I don't know, something fun to do. We're kind of excited about it. So I'll keep working on this, and I'll keep you posted. All right, we lifted it up with a fork truck, so I can get an idea. There it is. There's the chassis underneath there. It's gonna work pretty good. I built these plates and I bolted them in here. I put 2 bolts in it, and then I welded them onto these rails on both sides. So at least I can unbolt that to take it out. And then I'm gonna put one back here in the back. From here all the way back to this metal plate, I'm gonna build a bracket through here, a nice stiff bracket that holds that. And then up on the front, I'm going to probably hook it at the very top up there to the roof. I'm gonna build a bracket to go up there and put a bolt in, which that won't hold a lot because it's fiberglass, but all this is metal. So anywhere that I can hook it onto this metal, that's what I'll do. Yeah, this stuff's got stuff all over. I'm gonna flake all this stuff off with a wire wheel probably, paint all this and make it look a little better. So anyway, I just wanted to show you the underbelly. Fork truck works real good as a lift. I don't have to use my car lift for it. So yeah, there she is. Okay, so I put the fuel tank right there. I don't know if you can see that very well. I had to build a bracket over there, and then I had to build a bracket over here, and it comes down to the frame right there. I welded that in, bolted it in. I hated to put the fuel tank there because I had to drill a hole in the top, and I know you guys are like, oh my gosh, but I had to. There was nothing else I could do because the carburetor is a gravity. So I had to hook up the fuel line straight down into the carb, as you can see. So I had to have it up high somewhere. And I thought, you know, let's just put it there and it'll go straight down into the carb. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get me a different gas cap. I'm going to get something really cool on here. And then we're going to end up putting some stainless trim on this thing later on down the road. I know it doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look the best. But I think once I get some kind of ornament or something to put on here, something cool, an old car part or some sort, I'll figure out something on that. But that's where I'm at. And I think I'm about done for today. I've got a lot done to it. So tomorrow, what I'm gonna do is I put all the wire over on this side. I'm gonna hook up the ignition. I got the lights. This is for neutral and all that. So when you have it on, you'll know what's what. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here on that side and I'm gonna build me like a little dash back in there. And I'm gonna put the ignition, the lights and everything back in there. So tomorrow I'm gonna come out here and do that. Oh, and I got the battery mounted. It's just sitting there right now, but I'm gonna get a strap, put it over it. That's where it'll be. It'll be underneath the seat. Pretty good spot for that. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up for the night and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right.
The next day.
Yeah, so I built a dash to heat. And then
Training for an emergency still ahead inside the program. Here's first responders to stay calm when chaos.
And getting ready for a new neighbor.
okay, I don't know. Anyway. All right, been working on the bumper car. Got some headlights mounted on it. So check this out. So I put a 110cc four-wheeler motor and drivetrain in it. Oh yeah, she sounds good. It's got a stop light and it's got dual exhaust. It sounds pretty good. Just thought I'd show you what I'm working on. Okay guys, we're on another adventure. This is all Tim's fault. Got Tim, my neighbor, with me. He found he found a 57 Cadillac hearse. You don't see that every day. As you can see, she made it in the garage. I'm getting ready to pull the engine. I don't know if Grandma's still in here or not. Grandma! I hear something over here in this car. I think there's a raccoon living in this car. I don't know where he is. I don't know. He's in there somewhere. But anyway.